Okay, I'm just informed that it is time for me to start a live session. Please pardon my inconsistency with regards to handling the live session. This is the first time my first approach to handling this live streaming issue. I just want to welcome each and everybody to this session. Last Wednesday we treated. I just want us to have a recap of last Wednesday's topic. So when we last Wednesday topic, we were talking about the church and Christianity and the difference between the church and Christianity and so on and so forth. And we learned so many things the Wednesday, and I hope and pray that the universe will help us to go much more deeper into today's topic. We don't speak of our own accord, we don't speak of our own intelligence, but as and when informations are provided for us, we disseminate and work around it. Last Wednesday, we learned that when we talk about the church, we are the church, because a lot of people have misconception about church. So they think the church is the physical temple or the physical synagogue or the physical sanctuary that we go there to worship. But beyond all proofs, we're able to go into the Bible to find out what the church truly is, the etymology of the word church, and where the church was first mentioned in the Bible. I just want to take this opportunity once again to inform our viewers that this is purely something which is more biblical oriented. So as we bring out certain mystical and missing things within the Christian exercise, the Christian practice, that has made it appear so that the Christian faith is just a fiction, as people try to put it. So please be aware that this is purely a biblical form of learning we are doing. You can come in with different opinions, but let's streamline whatever ideas we have to this very particular topic. And we are all here to learn. I'm only here to share the very little that I know with you. If you have some other idea, you can also share it through the comment section so that we learn together, we share ideas together. So at the bottom end of the whole show, we all grow up together. No single person, I've always said that no single person is the custodian of intelligence. No single person is a custodian of knowledge. We are all learning. Divine intelligence, divine knowledge is like a broken mirror. It scatters in so many pieces, and we all pick certain parts of the pieces. Some may pick smaller pieces, some may pick bigger pieces of the same mirror. If you don't take time to put these pieces together, we may be arguing with ourselves. But when we take time and we are patient with one another and we put those pieces together, we realize that the only differences that we have has always been our language, the way we try to explain or express that which we possess. So please, we are here to learn. We are not here to challenge anybody or to condemn anybody's religion. And I am in no way would want to do such a thing. And the main focus of this live session is to help the Christian fraternity regain and to revive its spirituality, because now it is evident and clear that spirituality in the church is missing. Spirituality in the church, when I talk about spirituality in the church, I am talking about the internal church. People have lost their spirituality because of the kind of teachings that they have been given over the years, that the teachings that were supposed to be given to the church has been materialized and not spiritualized, and the entire information which is being delivered to the church, to the body of Christ, has become imbalanced, and hence people are not experiencing that divine energy, that divine power, that divine authority within the church. When I say within the church, still bear in mind that anytime I use the word church, I'm talking about you, your person. I'm talking about yourself. That is the church I'm referring to. And anytime I use the word synagogue, temple, or sanctuary, I'm talking about the physical edifice where we go there as a church to go and meet one another and to discuss and to admonish one another as churches. So This is the problem we are having, and this is the small effort I also want to make to contribute my small quota to the revival and to the renaissance of the church, which is the body of Christ. So please, if you are here and you are not from that circle, we are here to learn. When we talk about the Christ, we from the Christian fraternity call that infinite intelligence energy that took manifestation within manifest creation, we call it Christ. In your religion, you may call it different names, but what I want you to understand is that we are all talking about the same thing. Different identity, different name, different description, but it's the same energy. It's the energy that gives you life, the energy that gives you hope, the energy that makes you live, the energy that makes you go, think, reason, act, feel, do things. That is what you are talking about. The very breath of life, the very breath of existence. That is what we are talking about. You may call it different things, you may call it different names, give it different identity depending on language, geographical location, culture, and tradition. But we have decided to move in the line of the Christ way, we call it the Christ Spirit. So anytime I use the Christ Spirit, don't think that I'm talking about anything foreign. I'm talking about the same thing. So because we have lost contact with that essence, with this essence we call Christ, which is our true nature and our true self, it appears that things are not going well. And because of that, we'll be moving from one religion to another religion, from one spiritual center to another spiritual center, from one prayer camp to another prayer camp, doing all sort of prayers, doing all sort of rituals, doing all sort of meditations, and still we are not having results. Now, I want to establish again and again and again that the physical temple that you go to meditate, whether you travel to India to go to these temples, the monasteries, and then the temples in the Himalayas, in the Hare Krishna temples, and all other Buddhist temples around the globe, or you travel to Israel to go to pray in the Wailing Wall and whatever it is. The reason why we do all these things and we still don't have results is because we have lost touch with the original monastery. We've lost touch with the original church. We've lost touch with the original temple, which is the body of our being. Once we can get in touch with this energy within ourselves, and we'll come to that realization that we are the ones that inhabit the power and the energy of God. Wherever we go, we exhibit that power, because the energy is going to resonate from our being. But when you lose track of your self-energy and self-power, and you begin to put your trust and your hope in an externalized energy, then you betray yourself, which is an insult to your Creator. Once we were driving, we were going to town, and I was telling my friends that one of the biggest sins and one of the biggest error we could ever make is to put our trust in a fellow man or in a fellow person, thereby denying our God-given power or God-given ability. Because each and every soul that came to this world, there is an ability within that person, there is a power within that person, there's an energy within that person, and we need to harness and harvest this energy. When we lose this energy, we lose everything. And that's what Bible says, that cursed is anyone who puts his trust in his fellow man or any other thing apart from the divine which is within himself. And this is what all that we seek to do. We have no intention of trying to rise against any religious sect or any kind of belief system. All we seek to do is to contribute our quota in the right direction, so people, irrespective of their religious sect, would be able to harness that God-given latent abilities and powers that makes all things external manifestable. If we don't do that, we can pray all night, we can fast all day and all night, we can go to all the mountains, we can climb all the Himalayas and go to all the temples in the Buddhist monasteries, we can go to all the temples in Israel, we can go to all the holy lands in the Kaaba, go around the Kaaba and everything. We're still not going to see results, we're still not going to see contentment, we're still not going to have inner bliss, because that which harnesses that energy, that gives you that inner satisfaction, bliss and happiness, that thing is missing. Or we've let go of that thing and pursuing all other things. That's why the Bible makes it clear that God is within you, the kingdom of God is within you. Socrates said that, man, know thyself. for thou art like thirsty fishes in water. And all of the teachings of all the masters that have ever tread on the surface of the earth refer to the self. Because without the self, nothing really matters. Without you, nothing really matters. You are like one and all other things are zero. When all other things come before you, that one which is you is valueless. It still remains one. But when you're able to discover who you are, which is yourself, and you begin to pursue all other things, when you add 1 0, then it becomes 10. You add another 0, it becomes 100. You add another 0, it becomes 1,000. The problem we are having in our world today is that we are thrown off balance because we have neglected, we have minused ourselves, we have taken ourselves out of the picture of the search of knowledge, contentment, and happiness. So in that vein, we think that by getting a lot of money or having a lot of wealth and a lot of relationships, we will get this inner contentment and happiness we so seek. But nothing physical, nothing material can quench that test. So we are here to know and to learn that we are the inhabitation of the energy of the divine we call Christ. It's within ourselves. And that was what we learned. And because we are the body that inhabit that energy, we are the church that Christ was referring to. And until we come to that acceptance and to that realization and to that conclusion, all other things we'll be doing will still be depressed. We will not find inner contentment and happiness and gladness. And we lose control, we lose power, and we become very vulnerable, and people can take advantage and exploit us because we have no way and we have no means to prove what they are saying for ourselves. So we learned the past Wednesday that our body is the temple of God, which we took the scripture from 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16, that our body is the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells within us. And then we also learn in Matthew chapter 16 verse 18 that it was Jesus who first mentioned the word church in the Bible. And when he mentioned the word church, he was speaking in reference to a personality, not a physical structure built by the hands of man. He was referring to Peter for his ability to be able to find revelation to the question he asks. And that is the truth. The truth is that this physical life we live, it is only through revelations that inventions are made. It is through revelations that innovations are made. Innovations never comes from the intellect. It never comes from reasoning. It never comes from common sense. It all comes as a result of what? Revelation. And when the revelation is harnessed, or when we catch the revelation, then we use our intellect and we use our senses and then we use our common sense to investigate this revelation and then materialize this revelation. We are going to go into that structure. But today we want to talk about what I have themed it, understanding the true nature of the church. Understanding your true nature as the church. To understand your true nature as the church, which is the temple of God, which is the temple of the sublime intelligent creator, the infinite formless energy. Understanding yourself in that perspective, because that is your nature. Your nature is that you are the church within the Christian context. You are the church. Please don't forget, when I talk about the church, I'm using the word church because I've told you this program is designed for the biblical concept. So if your physical structure calls it mosque, then you are the mosque. If they call it a monastery, then you are the spiritual monastery. You are the real monastery, not the physical monastery they are talking about. So back to our biblical concept, we are the church. And if we are the church, we must understand the nature of our being, the nature of our structure, what constitutes our entire nature as the church and as the body of Christ. We all know that we are men and we are tripartite beings. We are tripartite beings. That means that we are three energies within ourselves. We are a composition of three energies. We have the body, soul, and spirit. This is our tripartite nature, which is our true nature. We are spirits possessing a soul living in the body. This is our tripartite nature. So we originally, by virtue of our essence, we are spirits, and that spirit is what we call the Christ. We are spirit. That's why when you read the book of Colossians chapter 1 verse, Colossians, I think chapter 1 verse, let me get it for you, that the Christ dwells in us. We read it the other time, but I just want to read it again. Colossians chapter 1 verse 27, to whom God would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery. Last I told you that there's nothing like a mystery to the one who has discovered himself, but to the one those who are outside, they see it as a mystery. Among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. So that essence of our being, which Bible calls it the breath of life, which is the first essence of divine manifestation within manifest creation, is what we call the Christ. That is our first essence, which is the spirit. Then this essence, when degrading itself, it creates what we call the soul. The soul constitutes what we call our personality. Yeah, I'm very, very sorry for the situation. Is due to technological challenges or technical challenges. So we'll continue from where we had a problem, or we had a challenge. So as I'm saying, it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what temples you go to, you would not find what you are looking for if you've not been able to realize that the self, or the church, or the synagogue, or the temple, or the monastery, or the physical structure you are looking for God, that structure actually is you. That divine energy dwells within yourself. So the first point of call is for us to understand our true nature. And this is where a lot of people have missed the mark. And because of that, they are moving from one place to the other place. They are moving from one temple to another temple. They are going from one master to another master. You're going from one church to another church. It's moving from one prayer camp to another prayer camp. You're moving from one spiritualist to another spiritualist. Because this is what is missing. So because of that, though they are moving here and there, but they are not finding what they are looking for. And to be able to find what you are looking for, you should be able to recognize that you are the embodiment that is harnessing that energy, that power within this physical dimension that you are looking for to help you in whichever way you deem fit and necessary. So we must understand our true nature, and we must come to that full comprehension of our true nature. So what is our true nature as a church? If we are the church, if our body houses the divine, what is our true nature? We must understand these things. And that is why I am taking my time to set the premise, to set the foundation, so that you come to the full comprehension, you come to the full understanding of who you truly are as the body of Christ, as the church of God. Once you're able to get this thing straight, then it will be much more easier to walk in the path and in the light of the divine knowledge. And you're able to walk within His word. And you are going to have personal encounter and experiences with that divine essence, with that logos, with that word. Because in the beginning, in the book of John says that in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So the same was in the beginning. There's always been about the energy of the word, which is the divine essence, taking different forms and different manifestations. That is why It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where society you belong to, any monastery you belong to, be it Eastern religion or Western religion. It all fundamentally based on the word. Wherever you go, they are going to give you a word. They are going to tell you something. They are going to speak to you about some energy. But the difference is those who are making you believe that the energy is external, and those who are making you believe that the energy is internal. That is the difference. Whether you're going to find the energy or you're going to lose the energy, whether you're going to harness the energy or you're going to disconnect from the energy, depends on the kind of information or the kind of word or the kind of logos you have been given. So once you're able to get this knowledge grounded within your persona, that you are the embodiment, you are the church, you are the mosque, you are the tabernacle, you are the synagogue, you are the temple, you are the monastery that is housing the divine energy, you've gotten the foundations right. And now all other things will be taken care of. If you decide to go to church, it is you that carry the divine energy to church. If you decide to go to the temple, it is you that carry the divine energy to the temple. If you want to go to the monastery, it is you that carry the Buddha to the monastery, because the Buddha dwells within you. The Guru is inside you. The Christ is inside you. Whichever name you choose to call it, depending on your tradition, culture, and religion, you may call it different names. You may call it Buddha. You may call it Christ. You may call it Guru. You may call it Master. Whatever identity you give to that energy is limitless. It's formless. It has no specific and definite identity. You can give it whichever name you want to give it. But what I want you to understand is that you are the one that is carrying that energy wherever you go. And that is why that energy is omnipresent. Because wherever you are, that energy is, because you carry that energy within yourself. So you can never run away from that. It's like your shadow. Your shadow is omnipresent. Wherever you go, the shadow is there. Wherever you go, the shadow is there. So you can never hide from your shadow. You can never run from your shadow. That is how the energy is. And that energy is even too close to you than your shadow, because the energy is internalized within this material body. So you must understand your nature properly. What is your constitution? What is your true nature as the church? So as I said before, the sound got disrupted. We as humans, we are made up of three energies. We are made up of the spirit. We are spirit with a soul trapped or living or inhabited in a body. You must understand these three things. These are your three estates. You are originally a spirit with a soul trapped in the body. Now, many of you might have heard it before, but hearing is one thing, and coming to the comprehension is another thing, and walking in that comprehension which you have come to is also a totally different thing altogether. So people hear these things. Some people graduate from just hearing to comprehending it, and very few people are able to walk in that comprehension. They are able to walk in that knowledge. Very few people. And those are the people who are on the narrow way. The Bible talks about two ways in this life. They said there's a way that seems right unto men, but the end thereof is destruction. And many are they that are on that way, but that way leads to destruction. But few are they that find the right way, which is the way of life. And that way is narrow, but that way leads to eternity, leads to eternal life. So many would know about this. Many talk about this. Yeah, you are a spirit. I'm a spirit. I have a soul. I have a body. Yes, that's fine. But have you come to that full comprehension? Have you come to that inner experience of that threefold nature of your persona? That very few people have experienced. And relatively, fewer people have been able to harness that energy and walking in that energy. But the truth of the matter is that it is the right of each and every soul that tread upon this physical dimension to be able to harness that energy and walk in that energy. So this teaching, we are going to take it one after the other. We may not finish in this session, but we'll take it one. We'll continue the next session. We'll continue the next. How many sessions we are going to have it, that is fine. Until we come to the full, we're able to digest and then, dissect the topic properly for people to really and properly comprehend it. So today we are looking at the first estate of your nature, which is the physical church or the physical temple, which is the body. Which is the first estate of our being. Now, the body as you see it is the most dense particle formation of the vital energy into manifest creation, in order that form will be created to harness and to inhabit the formless. So the body as you see it, it is not just an ordinary thing. I know a lot of religions and a lot of spiritual groups tell people that they shouldn't pay attention to the body. But I want to tell you that is wrong. And that is not a balanced teaching. You must and should pay attention to the body. To this physical life, you hold it as an obligation to take very good care of your physical life. Because it is the first definition and the first expression of your non-physical self. So the Bible says, out of the invisible comes the visible. So the visible is just a product or a manifestation of the non-visible. So you can never say you are neglecting the visible, and then you are pursuing after the non-visible. It is not true. It cannot happen. Anybody who is irresponsible towards the physical life and his physical nature can never harness the fullness of divinity. We will then come to the idea of renunciation. Some spiritual groups talk about renunciation. We'll come to that idea. And what is true renunciation? Is true renunciation means that you neglect your physical life? If that is it, then when they become truly renunciate, then they shouldn't eat, they shouldn't drink water, they shouldn't breathe. Then we know that they have truly renounced the physical body. Because the air we breathe, which contains the life form, in a way, it's that which sustains the physical body. So if the total denial of the physical body is what we call renunciation, then we should not do or engage in any activity that gives energy and effulgence to the physical nature. But the reason why it is necessary, because you need it in order to survive and to be able to express your non-physical nature. So you must understand the body and know how it is constituted and know how to properly take care of it in the material level and at the non-material level, at the energy level. Once you can understand this, then you set the foundation for your own development. That is why it is said that a healthy body houses a healthy soul and a healthy mind. And then death, as we literally may call it, is just the state in which the soul essence, the soul spirit, exits the physical body when it feels that the physical body is not strong and capable enough to inhabit it, to be inhabited. That's what we call death. When the soul spirit feels that this physical body has not been well taken care of, and the physical body has become so vulnerable and porous that it is unfit to hold the soul spirit, then it will exit, and that's what we call death. So death is a state. So if that causes death, then we have to take good care of physical body. And you realize that apart from accidents, those who take care of this physical body and give it good effulgence and good maintenance are those who live longer, have longer life expectancy. Those who eat well, take their balanced diet well, eat the right food that the system needs it, go through the necessary detox exercises, they are the ones that live long on earth. We are not talking about karmic retributions of people's assigned age and time. That one is another different thing. With all things being equal, we know that anybody that lives long, have longer life expectancy, are people who take very good care of the body. Because as long as you take good care of the body, the soul spirit will be comfortable living in the body. It's like, let me give you this scenario. It's like you live in a house, and all of a sudden you realize that your room or your house has developed a lot of cracks and it becomes dangerous. It is either you are going to repair and refurbish that house, or you are going to exit the house. Likewise, our physical body. When our physical body is in a state of deform, it's either we are going to refurbish the physical body so as the soul spirit can live in the physical body, or we are going to exit the physical body, which we call death. So the body is part of our spiritual evolution. And even the kind of body you take at birth for your earthly mission was decided over in the inner world. Yes, the kind of body you take, in order for it to be easy for you to express your karmic agreement and your karmic retributions, and to fulfill the purpose why you came on earth. So there are people who choose to be crippled. They choose to inhabit the body of a cripple, just to play the karmic game, so as at the end of the day, the ultimate objective of accomplishing that person's karmic intentions will be established. So your first component, or your first constitution as the church is the body. Now, as I said, the body is the most dense particle formation of the vital energy that creates form. What do I mean? It's a long English I've written. This is my own definition for the body. Okay, let me explain it to you. This is what I want to explain. You see, when you come to science, everything is created through particles. Everything is created through particles. Now, the more dense the particles are, the more solid is created. And the more translucent the particles are, the more the particles becomes invisible, which becomes more like a spirit. That is how it works. So, for this body to be created, this body came out of nothing. It came out of nothing, in the state that it is a sperm, which the sperm contains what we call a light energy, clothed in a fluid, which science call it sperm or semen, and then it gets in contact with an egg, and then when it blasts, there's a light that engulfs the egg. Then there's a formation of fetus. You know that originally we were just a spot of blood. We were not that dense. We are not that solid like this. Everybody knows this in science, in biology, that it's a clot of blood. That is why when a woman has a spontaneous abortion between the early part of the first trimester, it comes as a bleeding blood. As she bleeds, the blood flows. That blood you see flowing was the very basic stage, or the very lowest stage, from which the particles will be dense, and as the particles dense, it develops, then it metamorphosizes into this physical form. That is how the body is made. So when somebody tells you that the body is useless, actually the person is indoctrinating you and is telling you a lie. The body is still part of the one whole essence. And that is why when you don't take good care of the body, you will be held accountable. And that is why you have no right to kill somebody. You have no right to even kill your own self, because that part you are taking is still part of the one whole life, the very essence of it. So this is how the body is formed. So from the very unit, it begins to metamorphosize into embryo, into zygote. Gradually, it begins to take form, develop the ears, develop the eye, develops the neck. Then gradually it begins to develop. Then at the 9th month, a whole human being is formed at a smaller size. Now, it doesn't end there. When you are giving birth, and then you are lucky enough for the spirit to come and inhabit the body, then the body continues its metamorphosis by still growing and becoming more dense. So you realize that your muscles, when you have a baby, you realize that the baby is very fragile. So you handle that child with care. But as the metamorphosis is going on, and there's more sound vibrational energy which is resonating, that the particles becomes more dense and more compact. And as the particles become more dense and compact, the muscles and the tissues become more solidified. Then you begin to grow and expand. The muscles begin to be developed, and all the aspects of you begin to develop. And likewise, it goes in that reverse, and then back to the source at the time of your exit. So it is our responsibility to take very good care of our body. Now, when you look at the body as it is, and we compare it to the previous lecture we had on Wednesday, it was synonymous to the temple that Solomon built. Now the Solomon temple had the outer court, had the holy place, and had the holies of holies. Now the outer court, which is the place for the outer court, which is the place for the outer court, is a place for everybody, because in the outer court, that's where everybody goes there. So there everybody can access there. That's why everybody can use the material body, material world. Everybody is in the material world, do it, but very few people can go beyond the material world into the soul world. So everybody there, we use the body, the physical body. Once you are in this physical life, you have the right to use the physical body. Now I want to bring the previous lecture that we had. Good. So you realize that this place is the entrance, which is the outer court. This where you have my mouse room, that's the outer court. That is where cleansing and atonements are made, okay, in preparation for the people to meet God. So in the outer court, what you do is that people go there for atonement, people go there for worship, and people go there for cleansing in preparation to meet God. So when they are able to cleanse themselves in the outer court and they're able to atone for their iniquities, then they move into the holy place. This holy place is the level of the soul. Is the level of the soul. You get the whole thing? Then here, there's that kind of cleansing and development, because the level of the soul, we'll talk about all this in detail, but today we are tackling the body, which is the outer court. So at the level of the soul, there's another process which is going to go on, which is called the personality development, okay, where it has to deal with the emotions, the senses, and the emotions, senses, and then the intellect, okay, thought, emotion, and senses. You have to develop it here and balance it here. Now when that is done over here, you are now qualified. Now you enter into the holies of holies. And this holies of holies is where you have contact with God. That is spirit of man. That is the spirit, the spiritual development. So this is how it is like with the process to which the people go through when the Solomon's temple was built. So first of all, the people, when they get there, they must first take very good care of their physical body. So they go through atonement, they go through cleansing, and that is taking care of the physical body, making the physical body ready and prepared to harness the divine energy, to harness God. And that is why, as the church, and you are inhabiting the Spirit of God, it is necessary to live a prudent and morally upright and dignifying life. Make sure your body is well purified and well cleansed. Make sure your body is well purified and well cleansed, so as you would be able to be prepared to meet the Spirit, which is your absolute essence, which is the Christ within you. That is why anybody that does not prepare the body well, it is very difficult to meet the Spirit, to harness the Christ essence. So when you watch through the Bible talks about staying away from the works of the flesh, which is covetousness, envy, jealousy, backbiting, adultery, fornication. It mentioned all those things, because all these things, what it does is that it destroys the vibration of the physical body. It makes the physical body unclean and unfit to be able to harness the divine energy. That is what it does. It makes the physical body unclean and unfit to be able to harness the divine energy. So it is very necessary to take very good care of your physical body, preparing it for your own spiritual ascension. Let's look at Romans chapter 12. Romans is after the book of Acts, I think. Romans chapter 12. Let's look at Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Yes. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Paul was saying to the people of Rome, he said that, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. You see, This scripture is not talking about externalized God seated in a place called heaven, but it's talking about making your body so pure that that divine energy within you, which is the Christ essence, can be able to use the body to express itself, that people will see His glory within manifest creation. Because this physical body is the medium through which divinity expresses itself in the physical dimension. So if your physical body is corrupted, if your physical body is unacceptable and is not pure, it is very difficult to harness your divine energy. And I want to tell you one thing and one thing only, and this is the problem, and this is the solution to the problem, and this is the secret. And that is the reason why most of our problems, most of our prayers are not being answered. Most of our meditations, we are not having the connection, is because we have not prepared the physical body. Nobody will have his physical body in a balance, well prepared, and will meditate, will never have a connection. When you have your physical body well prepared, I'll tell you, you don't even need a guru, you don't need a spiritual master. Because the true master, as I've always told you, the true guru or the true Buddha or whatever it is, or the true Christ is already inside of you. But the reason why the guru, the master, the Buddha, and the Christ, which is within you, whichever name you choose to call it according to your geographical location and tradition and culture, the only reason why it is not manifesting itself is because the body is not properly prepared. It is not acceptable to that Christ essence inside of you. It is not acceptable to the Buddha. That is why That is why it is very difficult for you to harness your meditation energy. That is why when you sit in meditation, then your mind will be, roaming here and there, gallivanting here and there, and all those things, because the body is not well balanced, the body is not well purified, the body is not well cleansed, the body is not ready to accept the energy. And that is why when you are praying, answers don't come. When you meditate, you cannot have your connection. This is simple. If you like, take it from me, if you want to harness your energy, harness the divine essence, either through prayer or meditation, first of all, learn to cleanse your body, learn to purify your body, and learn to make your body acceptable unto God. The manifestation will take place naturally. I'm not saying this thing because a book told me. I'm telling you this thing because this is my own experience, because I've been on this journey. Even if I want to take the minors, the lesser ones out of it, I've been on this journey minimum between 15 to 20 years. So even after all, I don't know anything, at least I know a little to be able to tell you the truth. That, take it from me, make it a bet to yourself. That if you like, take good care of your physical body, feed it with the right nutrient, feed it with the right energy, feed it with the right vibration, feed it with the right frequencies, and sit to meditate and see, or do a prayer session and see, or do a retreat, or do a fasting and prayer, whichever your belief system may be, and see that whether you're not going to have experiences. Well, there's one of our brothers who was initiated, and then he went back to do his things, and he thought that he was disconnected, so he decided, now what is it going to do? So he decided that he wanted to cleanse his body. He cleansed his body, did all the necessary things, and then went to a place, locked himself up. 7 days he attained enlightenment without any connection from any master. And as I talk to you today, he's an enlightened master. Well, we don't use masters. There's an enlightened adept within 7 days. And all the masters has told us that if you can be disciplined, stay off all this pressure and take very good care of it, and then cleanse your body properly and stay in meditation for 90 days, you would attain enlightenment. You don't need a master to do that for you. Sometimes it only helps to give you the connection, because the worldly demands and the hustles of the bustles of this physical dimension cannot exhaust your physical energy, exhaust your body energy, exhaust the temple's energy, exhaust the church's energy. So it's very difficult for the communion of the divine with the church to be established. So then you need somebody to admonish you, you need somebody to push you, which is fine. But I'm saying the basis or the foundation to realizing the Christ essence within you, it starts by first purifying the body and taking good care of the body to make the body acceptable unto God. So I take it again. Romans chapter 12 verse 1. It said, I beseech you, brethren, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It's your reasonable service. That means it's a work you have to do. It's something. It is a reasonable thing to do. It's a service. It's something you have to work at it. That is the only way you can do anything to contribute to the microcosmic energy. And one of the things you can do to contribute to this microcosmic energy is to take very good care of your body, emotionally, physically, morally, and health-wise. You have to take very good care of the body for the body to be acceptable, to be able to accommodate God's energy, the divine energy, the micro energy within yourself. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. This is where it all starts from. That our way of life will not be conformed to this. When they say conform to this, it doesn't mean that you will not eat, no, that's not what it doesn't mean renunciation. No. What he's trying to say is that our way of life will not be conformed to the demands of the material intelligence, the false intelligence. Because there are two intelligences within manifest creation, because this manifest creation is the realm of duality. So the evil energy is here giving its own information. And then the good energy also is giving its own information. So make sure you are not conformed to the teachings and the order of this world that comes to naught. So you should be careful of where you conform, but be transformed by the things you think about. You don't think about immorality, you don't think about confusion, you don't think about vain imagination, you don't think about falsehood, you don't think about false witnesses, you don't think about pride, you don't think about arrogance, ego, backbiting. You know them. So once you stay off those things, out of your thought, you are not conforming to this world, and you are going through mental transformation. And that leads to the preparedness of your body to be acceptable unto divinity, which is your own pure essence, to be able to manifest that your God nature, that your divine nature, that holy breath inside you, that breath of life, that holy breath inside you. You need to prepare the body. But the only reason why the body inhabits the holy breath is for the body to be capable of allowing that holy breath, which is the Christ essence, to express itself. So that is the body we are talking about here. Now, when this vital energy is within the body, this vital energy consists of four energies. This vital body consists of four energies that comes together to form this vital body, this physical body we use. So this physical body itself is an energy, and that is why at the time of your death, all this energy dissipates into its source. So these four energies are earth energy, water energy, air energy, and then fire energy. These are the four vital energy that creates this physical body. And any other thing within manifest creation, any other thing within this world we live in, is all created by this vital energy. So anything that would have physical form, because I told you already that it is the dense particle formation of this vital energy creates form. And the highest, most purified form it creates is the human body. Then it comes to the animal body, then it comes to the plant body, then it comes to the mineral bodies. So these are the four kingdoms. These four bodies, the dense energy, the dense particle energy of the vital force creates. And all these energies it creates, all this form it creates, which is the highest of them, which is the human form, then comes to the animal form, then comes to the plant form, and comes to the mineral form, all constitute four of these elements. And these four elements are earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. And these four elements constitute the way we behave as a people, because the element which is dominant within your manifestation determines how you're going to behave. And that's why we have melancholy, we have sanguine, we have choleric, and we have phlegmatic. In Western knowledge, that's how they call it. In the Eastern knowledge, they call it the four elements: water, fire, air, and earth. When you come to the Western side, in terms of temperament, they call it melancholy, sanguine, choleric, and then phlegmatic. This constitutes our persona. And this is how we begin to unfold, the basis from which we unfold from. We must understand this clearly. And then there is the fifth element we call the space. The space within which these elements are able to function, which we call the ether. Okay, that gives you the opportunity for that your four element field to be able to have mystical experiences. What are these mystical experiences? The experience with your divine self, from the soul level to the spirit level. You need a space from which these four elements must play and have connection with the soul essence and then the spirit essence. So basically, the earth element constitutes 12% of your body energy. The water constitutes 72% of your body energy. The air constitutes 6% of your body energy, and the fire constitutes 6% of your body energy, making it 96% of your body energy. Then the ether, which is the space energy, constitutes 4% of that body energy, and then we have the 100% of your body energy. So in all of this energy, you have to be balanced. That is why even physically, when you become dehydrated, you begin to feel dizzy. That is why physically, when you lack air, you begin to suffocate. That's why physically, when you have not eaten, which is the food from the earth element, you become weak and vulnerable. You become so tired that because of food, you can sell your birthright to your younger brother. And it happened in the Bible. And when you are sick, your temperature begins to peak. When the body is diseased, which foreign energies or foreign toxins has come into your system, the body begins to rise in temperature. That means that the body is on ease. That's why anywhere you go when you are not feeling well, they try to control your temperature so that the fire element will not go to the dimension where the fire element exits. Because at the time the fire element exits, the rest of the element is going to break down. Because it is the fire element that holds the rest of the three elements together. So that's why when somebody dies, the first thing is that they check his temperature. His body becomes very cold, where the fire element is gone. This has nothing to do with belief system. This has nothing to do with Christianity. This has nothing to do with Buddhism. This has nothing to do with Hinduism. This has nothing to do with Islam. This is the self. This is the church. This is who you are. This is your true nature. And humanity existed before all the formations of all these religious sects and groups. That's the truth. Humanity, we existed. Creation existed before the formation of all these sects and groups. And all these sects and groups can take a portion of the knowledge of creation and then use it to teach people. That is fine. Nobody's against it. But it has to be taught the way it is in its original state in creation, so that man will be at balance with creation and with the universe. And this is all that we seek to do, so that there will be a restoration of that divine balance within manifest creation, and by extension within the religious body, and by deeper extension from where we are coming from within the Christian fraternity. Because the truth is lost, and that is why a lot of people are praying all night. Why would you stay up and pray all night for what? You are going to die, honestly speaking. Because the universal intelligence has created things in such a way that there is time for the body to be refurbished. Through sleep, you download a lot of cosmic energy and your body is revived. You understand? Just yesterday, I had a news that a friend that I knew died. Is an elderly man, because he stayed up to 12 o'clock, and when it was after 12, he decided to do all night prayers that they do on the televisions and all those things. And then he was hypertensive, and then he had an hypertensive attack, and then led to cardiac arrest, and he died. And we are yet to bury him. It's about 2-3 weeks ago. And a lot of people are facing these fatalities on an individual basis. And they don't know. A lot of people, that hypertension you are facing, I can tell you for a fact, it is two causes. It is bad way of life and staying up late into the night. You're not taking good care of the body. You're violating divine ordinances. Yes, once a while, if you have something to do and you have to stay up late, fine. Sometimes, like when we're pursuing this spiritual practice, at times we have to stay up and we meditate maybe once a month or once in 2 weeks. But you cannot stay up all night throughout the whole week, and when day breaks, you go to work. That is why when you go at night, they give you the daytime to rest so that you can recoup your energy. Even the people of the world knows that the body has to rest. But you need to go to work, and then you stay up all night praying and doing all these things, and then at the end of the day, you wake up and you go to work, you become less efficient, you become dull, your brain become, because everything about you will change. Last time I went to the market to buy a few items to do an exercise for somebody, and I went to Bramosis, and the woman was sleeping. I don't want to mention the name, I don't want to offend any prayer group online. And she had this bangle around her hand. So when I got outside, she was selling I think we were going to buy palm nuts, eh? Then she was selling palm nuts. And she was sleeping. I had to pass other palm nut people to go to her. And I knew why it happened because I needed to give her a message. So I was literally waking her up. She was still asleep. And when she woke up, hey, madam says, hey, Papa. I'm saying, madam. I said, me call on me here all night to me see. I didn't cry all night. Why you all night? What bonfire now? I feel the obi abba or this cabron. I feel the older. Then I explained a few things to her. I say, hey, Papa, hey, asemo. You understand? Well, I told them my peace of mind and I left. We are not saying do not pray, but everything you do with the body must fall in line with the divine order. We'll come to that one. We'll treat that one, all this, we'll treat that one at a later time. But let me focus on my subjects. You understand? So you need to take very good care of the body. So the fire element holds everything together in the body, as I said. It holds everything in the body together. When the fire element is lost, it exits, all of the rest of the element begins to dissipate into its source where it came from. Because as I told you, it's a vital energy. It came from a source and then metamorphosized into solidity through densification. So when this four element comes together and then becomes densified and then creates this physical body, then it further goes ahead to create senses. Because I told you that it is the non-physical self want to express itself with this physical dimension or manifest dimension through the body. So the body must create a sense through which the expression will take place. So then it creates five senses. It creates five senses. Now, these five senses, we know them, which are the sense of touch. That has to do, it's a sense of touch that have to deal with it's a sense of touch that has to do with the skin. Then we have sense of sight that has to do with your eyes. Then smell that has to do with your nose, and then taste that has to do with your tongue, and then hearing that has to do with your ears. But obviously, when you go deeper, there are other senses which let's talk about the general one that we know. It's not only limited to five senses, but that's what science told us, and that's what all people know. So let's limit it to that. We are not talking about the sensual gratifications to enter into other forms of senses which are there. You understand? Because you yourself, your body that there are other senses which are there, and they are very sensitive. So yes, the energies, the vital energy, after fully forming this, bringing these four elements together and form this physical body, it by extension creates another energy source. We call it the senses, and it is through these senses, these five senses, that the non-physical self relates to the physical dimension. But the whole idea is for the non-physical self, which is the God self, your God essence, to be able to relate and then expand intelligences within this physical dimension. And this is all that we are looking for. We are na yepe. Yehwe ekwan ben so a nyame na ɔte yɛ mu no ɛna nhyira ne tumi a ɛwɔ saa nyame mu no, saa nhyira ne tumi na ebitumi de ahyira wiase ansa na ebefiri akɔ. Ɛno ara na yɛhwehwɛ. That's all. That's why everybody, when you get money, you want to do something in this physical world before you die. You want to touch a soul or build a house. You want to do something because this is our true call. Our true call and our true essence. And the reason why when you say you feel say bobra, because the divine a person use this physical body through the senses to do something in this physical world to help contribute, because that divine is part of the energy that created this universe, and creation is ever evolving. Obika just said creation. Yabo adivio obwa. What is the focus as him say? Oh, Nyankopon abu bi obwa. Nyankopon has laid down the the divine essence lays down the basic foundations of the building blocks of creation. But creation is always ever evolving. Our world have changed.
So yeah, so basically, as we said, the creation is not static. I think that's where we ended before we had a problem with our sound. I just need to apologize. I don't know why today we are having a lot of challenges. The first day was seamless and was so beautiful, and then yes, but it's part of life. As you go along, you get the necessary problems, try to adjust them and all those things. So yes, so as I was saying, creation is not static. Creation is ever evolving. Creation is ongoing, and that divine essence, because it knows that creation is that its creation should be evolving according to time and age, because we go through different ages. We go through the electrical age, the dark age, the mental age, the golden age. You go through different ages. That intelligence uses this physical body to express itself to contribute to the evolution of this creation, this ever evolving manifestation of its own creation. So if we don't develop the senses and we don't take good care of the senses, then it becomes a problem by way of connecting to that divine essence so as we can use it to manifest that creation and enhance creation. And this is why everybody wants to do something before he or she dies. Or exit, when death is an illusion anyway. Before he or she exits this physical dimension. And the only conduit or the only bridge through which that non-physical self, which is the divine nature, the divine essence, can express itself into this physical dimension, it is through the densification of the vital energy into physical body, which is synonymous to the non-physical dimension, so that through that it can be able to express itself and contribute its intelligences to the advancement and to the enhancement of creation. So that is why the five senses, which I said it's more than five, but we limit ourselves to what we already know by science have accepted. But that is five senses offered to us. So by extension, after after the vital body creating the physical body, and then through the four elements with the fifth ether, the space, then the five senses are created. When these five senses are created, now this energy that has been created now is further depleted into two polarities. When it is divided into two polarities, then we call the world of duality or the world of manifest creation. So in the world of manifest creation, we have the masculine energy and then we have the feminine energy. That is why we have male, which is man, and female, which is woman. And what happens is that the genetic structure, the DNA structure, has a way of computation that determines whether one becomes a male by virtue of the physical anatomy or one becomes a female by virtue of the physical anatomy. So when you come to science, they call it the chromosomes, the XY chromosomes and then the XX chromosomes. This is what determines the alignment of the vital energy, whether it's going to be masculine vital energy or feminine vital energy. You get it? So now, these XY chromosomes, the XY chromosomes are the chromosomes for the masculine energy, and the XX chromosomes are the chromosomes from the feminine energy. This is what science has told us. But I am of a slightly different opinion. When you go further, you understand why I'm of a slightly opinion on this chromosome computation. When you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, the first book of the Bible is Genesis. When you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, when you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, please, you are back online, so the few people, you can share the link back to the people for them to come and listen. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. It reads, so God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. So God created man, male and female, created he them. When they say that created he them, that means that literally at the end of the day, there were two energies, the split of energy. Now, in the masculine energy, there is the male and female energy, and in the feminine energy, there's the male and female energy, which is the X chromosomes and XY chromosomes. Now, this is how science has put it. But when you watch what biblical evidences are saying, or biblical writing scriptures are saying, and what science is saying, there's a little bit, disagreement. And we are going to look into all those disagreements. Now, at the 10th week, when the body is going through metamorphosis, there's nothing like feminine or masculine. It is still the same single force. There's nothing like feminine and there's nothing like masculine. It is still the same female force when the body is going through the metamorphosis. Now, share this thing with you. On your screen, there's a diagram on your screen. On your screen, there's a diagram on your screen. Now, this diagram on your screen shows you that the development of the fetus at 10 weeks. Okay? When you see the diagram here, we have the development to boy fetus about 10 weeks old. That means when the fetus is in the woman, it's about 10 weeks old. This is how the boy fetus looks like. Now, when you come here, you can see that you have the development to a girl fetus about 10 weeks old. This is how the girl fetus also looks like. Now, you realize that both the boy fetus and then the girl's fetus are all the same. There's no difference. Because as I told you, all is emanating from the same energy source. So there's no separation. It is when it's fully manifest within duality, then there is separation. You understand? Now, when you look at the development of the boy's fetus, okay, you can see one, the girl, you have the one at the same place, two, you have two at the same place, 10, you have the 10 at the same place, five, you have the 5 at the same place, four at the same place, three at the same place, 8 and 7 at the same place, and then 6 at the same place. So realize that the boy's fetus that was observed, the fetus that resulted in a boy at 10 weeks and the fetus that resulted in a girl at 10 weeks, they are all the same. Now, what happens is this: when the fetus at this age, at this stage, which is the 10 weeks, will become a male, what happens is that there is a projection, okay, of this shaft, the number 5 here, okay, projects out. When this number 5 projects out, I hope we are all adults in this. I want us to understand it very well. When this fetus projects out, then it becomes the male organ. You understand? That is why they say that the male gene is a dominant gene. It's an active gene. That's the reason why they say that the male gene is a dominant gene or an active, because the force pushes this tubercle out to become the shaft of the penis or the male organ. Now, when you come to the female, when it's about for the female to become a female energy, what is that? It goes into recession. You get everything. It goes into recession. You understand? Excuse me, is there a problem? Okay, I understand. No, but I'm not using this thing again. So they are giving some technical dash. As I told you earlier, pardon me, I'm not used to this social media thing. So from time to time they'll keep on correcting me till I get acquainted with it. So the difference, I'm saying that the difference is that the lateral tubercle, which is the one we see the number 5, okay, if it's supposed to be a male, what happens is that it projects out, okay, then becomes the male organ, then that energy becomes more dominant or more active. But when it's supposed to become a female, or that fetus supposed to develop into a female, what happens is that it recedes inside. That number 5, that which is the tubercle, recedes inside, go inside, then it forms the female organ. But meanwhile, at the 10th week, they are all literally the same. Now, what happens that when it recedes inside, that is why they call the feminine energy is a recessive gene energy, which they call the XY chromosome. It's a recessive, the XX chromosome is a recessive gene energy, and the XY chromosome is a dominant gene energy. This is what empirical scientific evidence has shown us over the years. So, if the Bible told you that in him created he, male and female created he them, obviously the Bible wasn't lying. So nobody can come and tell me that the Bible is a lying book or it's a fiction. Because science has come to prove that the same gene that created the female is the same gene that creates the male. But one is dominant. That's that science goes a little bit further to explain that one is dominant and one is recessive. The masculine energy becomes dominant or active, while the feminine energy becomes recessive. But at 10 weeks, it is still the same vital force or the vital energy that formulates into other masculine or feminine that creates the duality. Okay, now, so you understand how the various sexes or the various gender or the various duality are formed within manifest creation from this same vital energy. So now you are getting to know that as your physical body is there, any ordinary thing like say for disrespecting the body, no. Oh, sorry, why body basa say butterfly say mansem no pe or ye mansem kwa sense anoma or bones kwa nyama be sebo no ye for live that life because they don't understand what constitutes the body. The body is as divine as the essence. You see, the manifested essence in the physical dimension within form is the body. So the body is as divine as the essence, and that is why we should take very good care of the body. So any spiritual that tells this material world, this physical body, don't mind the physical body and all those things, it is not doing it because we need to operate in the balance. When you go further, you understand why I say we need to operate in the balance. In as much as, so when you go further, we'll get a few things. Now, so today is more of a presentation, so pardon me, I'm just getting myself used to this environment. So we have the so these are the 10 week fetus where the formation is taking place, but still from the same vital energy, and then later on it splits into the duality. One becomes dominant gene and one becomes recessive gene. Now this is how it is explained. According to science, the sperm, it produces two genes. It produces the Y genes and produces the X genes. Or sorry, the Y chromosome genes and then produces the X chromosome genes. Now, when the sperm is genuine to the X, to the woman's ovaries, if the woman ovaries is naturally an X gene, X chromosome gene, so it's always standard, it is always X. This is the woman X. When you watch here, this is the woman's X. The X here is X gene, both X, both the left side of the egg and then right side of the X is X genes. It hasn't got Y. Okay, so when the sperm is genuine to the egg, the sperm produces two chromosomes, either the X chromosomes or the Y chromosomes. Now, these X chromosomes and Y chromosomes, the one that gets to the egg first, that's the fertilization. So if the X chromosomes gets to the egg first, what happens is that then that particular chromosome becomes XX chromosome, then that fetus becomes a lady or becomes a female, then harnesses the female energy. But if the Y chromosomes from the sperm gets to the X first, then it becomes the XY chromosomes, then that chromosomes naturally will become a masculine chromosome. So when you get here, you realize that you have the masculine chromosome, which is the boy, which is XY chromosomes, and then when you come here, you have the feminine chromosome, which is the XX chromosome. This is what scientific empirical evidences show us in the formation and the spirit of the duality. But at this level, it is pure energy. At this level, it's pure energy, but it is in the fertilization that the energy is split at 10 weeks onwards. As you go ahead, if you have any question, you can ask. Okay, as you go ahead, if you have any question, you can ask. Then you type the questions there. We'll come to a question session. So I'll go through the comment section, then I'll pick the questions and ask. But please let us restrict our questions to what you are treating today, so that we don't get here and there over the board. So please, let's go on. So this is what we have in the formation of our physical body. Then we begin to have our gender, and we begin to have our various sexes. Now, so this is the chromosome gene formation, as I showed you earlier on. So the female is XX chromosomes according to science, and then the male is XY chromosome. This is the XY chromosome, and this is the XX chromosomes. So this is how the chromosome is depicted by science. So by the virtue of the legend here, the blue color represents the male, and then the pale color, yellow color, represents the female. So where you have the XX chromosomes, that's where is the female, and where you have the XY chromosomes, then it is the male. But I have a problem here, and I'm going to now tell you my own hypothesis with regards to this formation. Because if X chromosomes is a recessive chromosome, which is an emotional chromosome, because all the recessive chromosomes are emotional chromosomes, and all the dominant chromosomes are logical chromosomes or intuitive chromosomes. That's why they say men are more logical and women are more emotional. That's the foundation for this whole thing. Now, if science says that the XX chromosomes are recessive chromosomes, so women are emotional, and then men are XY chromosomes, so men are logical and emotional, that XY chromosome, but men are logical because the Y chromosome is dominant and then the X chromosome is recessive. Then per my observation and my intuitive direction, I believe that this scientific explanation is a little bit deficient and problematic. But when you go to Bible definition, it said, and he created the male and female. That means that in the male is XY chromosome and in the female is SY chromosome, not SS chromosome. That is where the contention is coming from the biblical point of view. And now I'm looking, this is just an hypothesis. I'm not disputing anything. If science wants, they have to revisit it and then reconsider the whole structural chromosome computation. But the Bible has made it clear that in him created he male and female, created he them. Who is that them? He's talking about the duality, which is the male energy and then the female energy. So he's saying that in the male energy, there is female and male in the male, and then in the female energy, there's female and male in the female energy too. So he created duality in both of them. So both energies, both gene carries that two energies within their being, and that's the constitution of their being. So yes, looking at the Bible's proposition or the Bible's viewpoint, you notice that every seed or every person is a constitution of the woman's egg, which is the Y chromosomes, and then the man's sperm, which is the S chromosomes. Okay? So yes, breaking announcement. I've been told that due to the break in sound transmission, if you want to watch the full video or the full session, you can have it on our YouTube channel, The Way Networks. When you go to The Way Networks, you can have this full session of the video on The Way Network. They're going to merge it and then get a full video for you on The Way Network. So if you want to watch it in full from the beginning to end, Alpha to the Omega, please go to our YouTube channel, The Way Networks, and then watch the full version of it. So, as I said, per the Bible description, in him created he male and female, created he them. So that means that in every man there is male and female energy, in every woman there is male and female energy. This is what Bible is saying. Is Bible speaking the truth, or it is the scientific laboratory research speaking the truth? Now, from the Bible viewpoint, this is what I see. But when I also observe the human viewpoint or nature's viewpoint, I realize that the Bible is speaking the truth. The Bible's description, not speaking the truth, is more adequate. Because you cannot tell me that a woman is not logical. A woman is logical. Every woman has a sense of logic within them. Even though that logical ability may be minimized, but still there's logic. And that's why they can assess it. But the other side of it is that because their X chromosomes is dominant and is superior, they make their emotional part take the better side of their logical aspect of them. So their logical side is suppressed, and then their emotional side is more dominant and active. But still, there's that element of logical reasoning within them. Likewise, you cannot tell me that a man is only logical without emotions. Now, we're putting Bible aside, what Bible is saying. Now we are looking at physical life, our everyday life, what we are experiencing. No matter what it is, every man has a limit of emotions. Though suppressed and recessive, when a man is alone, he has that emotional sentiment within himself. But in front of public, he tries to be the man. And man projects more logical and analytical thinking, using more of the intellect than the emotions. But whatever it is, the man still has emotions in him. So it comes to the fact that what Bible is describing is more adequate and is more to the point than what the scientific evidence is giving us. So when you come here, this is my propositions I have made. I have tried to explain my own hypothesis, which is the diagram below, and then what current scientific evidence is given as per we have seen on the previous diagram that we had. This is the first one is the current scientific explanation and position on human chromosome gene computation based on laboratory research of empirical evidence. I put empirical in quotes because now I begin to question the empirical evidence, how empirical it is. Because when they say something is empirical, that means that it is beyond doubt with substantial evidence. But the evidence we have on the ground and the biblical writing does not point to this scientific computation. Now, it says that the male, which is man, is made up of X and Y chromosomes. Now, the X, which is the green chromosome, is naturally a recessive gene, which is emotional. Because they've told us here that when you come to the feminine side, it said the X chromosomes, they are emotional gene. So if the man has an XY chromosome, obviously the man has an emotional chromosome and has a logical chromosomes. That makes up who a man is. That is why the man can produce the X genes and can produce the Y genes when he releases the sperm, when the atomic bond is split within the man. It releases both the X, which is the recessive gene, and then releases the dominant genes. And which of them goes to fertilize the egg determines the sex or the energy field of that particular fetus. But when we come to the female, it's telling us that the female are XX chromosomes, which are emotional chromosomes. And this is where I disagree with this computation by scientific research. Because in our everyday life, there are women who behave like men. So if the woman has a masculine attribute, that means the woman or the feminine or the female has a dominant gene or logical attributes. I know people whose wives are more logical in thinking than their husbands. I know married couples whose husbands are more emotional than the women. Though that means that man, though he's a man, his X chromosomes is dominant. It is not the Y chromosome, it is dominant. I have not witnessed situations when there's an issue, the man begins to weep first. You see, so in that situation, that means the man's emotional chromosome, which is the S chromosome, is dominant. It's more active than the masculine chromosomes, which is the logical chromosome, which is the Y chromosomes. So then it makes the scientific expression here a little bit problematic to me. So then I came out with this hypothesis myself. This is my hypothesis. This is my take on it. Now, my hypothesis is basically based on biblical and nature observation viewpoint. I built this hypothesis that this could better explain in natural terms how our chromosomes function than what the science that we are dependent on all this while. I call it hypothesis. I'm not saying it's a theory or a law. It's an hypothesis. It's something that I'm explaining. It's an idea I'm bringing across. Let us dig into it and let's see how substantial that would be. Now, let me zoom in a little bit. Now, when you watch the hypothesis that I have brought here, my hypothesis says that in every male there is the X chromosomes and the Y chromosomes. Okay? In every male there's the X chromosomes and then there's the Y chromosomes. Let me get this thing is getting out. But I think you can zoom it on your screen. Okay, I think I have it. In every male, there's the X chromosomes and then there's the Y chromosomes. This is it. This is my hypothesis that I'm putting across, which of course is the same hypothesis for the chromosome structure of the scientific evidence. But there's a small difference here. Realize that my X is smaller and my Y is bigger, saying that within the masculine chromosomes there is an emotional chromosome, but that emotional chromosome is less in percentage compared to the logical chromosome, which is the dominant chromosomes. So what I'm trying to explain here is that per my observation of nature and per by the Bible records, in every man there is an emotional tendency and then there is a logical tendency, but just that the logical tendency is more supreme and is more active and dominant than the emotional tendency. Likewise, when we come to the female aspect, with the female aspect too, there is the presence of the X chromosomes and then the Y chromosomes. But the difference is that when you come to the science computation, it says that the female has only XX chromosome, which is a recessive chromosome, which is an emotional chromosome. But I am saying that the female also has X chromosomes and has Y chromosomes. But just that the Y chromosome, which is the logical chromosomes, is recessive in the female, and the X chromosomes, which is the emotional chromosomes, is dominant this time around and not recessive. And that is why women express more emotional attributes than men, and their logical reason is less. And the reason why men hide their emotions is because their emotional aspect is suppressed and their logical aspect is enhanced or advanced. So this is my observation of nature and how we behave as people and the energies that control us and what the Bible has written. It confirms what the Bible has written by nature, that in 27 it says that so God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. So in the male there is, in the female, in the woman there is male and female, and in the man there is male and female. So that is the hypothesis I've brought below, which is the second one below here, where the mass is moving. Now, if we can understand from this perspective of the hypothesis that I'm saying, not from the scientific point of view, you realize that a man can play the role of a woman if he only trains himself to be balanced. Because with this kind of hypothesis coming from the science, that a woman will forever stay imbalanced. A woman can never be balanced. It is the man that has the opportunity to be balanced, but the woman cannot be balanced because the woman only has XX chromosomes and he has no opportunity to become imbalanced, which it has its source. But if you look at the hypothesis I am putting here, I am saying that a man has both X and Y chromosomes. Likewise, the woman has both X and Y chromosomes. But with the man, the X chromosomes is recessive and the Y chromosomes is dominant. So if the man has to be balanced, then in terms of consciousness, the man must learn to develop his personality and raise his emotional aspect, that which is the intuitive aspect of his personality. And then the woman also, when he wants to be balanced, must also raise his logical aspect so as to match up with his intuitive aspects. Then we achieve balance. Without that, we can never achieve balance as a person. And the essence of all our existence is for us to achieve balance. Now, the energy having metamorphosized into this chromosome energy level, which splits into duality, which is the male energy and then the female energy, that then has both polarity within them, as I've explained in my own hypothesis, not the scientific explanation. What happens is that it creates an energy field, because I told you we are energy. I'm trying as much as possible to finish with the body aspect so that we can go to the soul and we can go to the spirit. Now, then it creates the energy field. Now, the energy field is also divided into two. We have the electric field and we have the magnetic field. We call it the electromagnetic field of our energy. Now, our personality then becomes an electromagnetic field. Now, the electrical field is the masculine aspect of our personality, and our magnetic field is the feminine aspect of our personality. So then, if you are going by what the scientific expression is giving us, that means that the woman has no electrical field. They only have magnetic field, and that means they are more material oriented. Obviously, because their X chromosomes is dominant, with their emotional chromosomes is dominant. That is why you say in my period. But any oba be also nepe wiasanyama. Though oba person wiasanyama there, but there's an aspect of them which is not too dominant, but it also seek for divine things, seek for spiritual things. That is why when you go to the churches, there are more women in the churches than men, because there's a part of them which is also more in tune to the electrical energy, which makes them pursue spirituality. So by going with that standard, then there will be problem with the balance of the personality in terms of the magnetic field of our energy, because in each and everybody has the electromagnetic field. So now, as I've said, the electrical field is the masculine aspect of our personality, and the magnetic field is the feminine aspect of our personality, which is the X chromosome gene, and then the masculine chromosome gene, which is the electrical field, is the Y chromosome genes. Now, this is what happens. This is what happened. Let's take it from here. Today we are going to class. That's why in the promo I told you, come and take your Bible and take your pen and your book, because this is going to be a learning session. Then from there we will now graduate into all those spiritual, mystical prayers and all those things. When you have understood the basis, and when you begin to fire, then fire upon fire, then you realize that everything has results. Now, this is the human brain, and this is the field that controls our electromagnetic energy field. Now, when you watch here, you realize that we have what we call the pineal gland, which a lot of people know about the pineal gland, but very few people know about the pituitary gland. Now, this pineal gland here controls our electrical field, and this pituitary gland here controls our magnetic field. Now, these two in a balance makes us a complete being. Now, this pineal gland, what it does is that the reason why they call it pineal gland, and people in the olden days, in the ancient time, they call it the third eye, is because where it is positioned, when you look at where it is positioned, it looks like the human eye. So people think and mistakenly think that it is an eye that you can use to do spiritual things. No, but the pineal gland, it has the ability to sense light and promote and produce what we call melatonin. We will go to the full teachings of the pineal gland and go to the full teachings of the pituitary gland. But that's not what you are doing today. But I'm using it to help you to understand the balance of the human body, which when it comes to the XY chromosomes. So the pituitary gland is the S chromosomes, and then the pineal gland is the Y chromosomes. This is the electrical chromosome, which is the masculine energy, and this is the Y chromosome, which is the masculine energy, and this is the X chromosome, which is the feminine energy. And the two in a balance makes you a complete person. Now, when you watch the electrical field, when you take the energy centers of the human body, okay, when you take the energy center of the human body, we have the 3 electrical fields, 3 magnetic field, and then we have the balance in the middle. We learned the previous day on Wednesday. We learned it the previous day. So this is how our body looks like. So this is also a drawing of our pineal gland, And this is what we call, so you realize that this is what is called what? The pineal gland is what we call the yang. When you come to the Chinese philosophy, they call it the yang. And then the pituitary gland is called the yin. That's what we call the yin yang in the Chinese, as above, so below. So you can see that the pituitary gland, the pineal gland is above, and the pituitary gland is directly opposite the pineal gland, which is below. Now you realize that it draws the yin yang. You realize that it draws the yin yang. So when you watch, this is the yin yang, this is how it is like. This is the pineal gland, and this is the pituitary gland. As above, so below. Now I told you that the pineal gland accesses light. That is why this place is white. And then the yang, which is the feminine energy, which is the hall of darkness, which harbors life energy, which is the feminine energy. It's the yang. So it is yin yang. As above, so below. Out of the invisible cometh what? The visible. So the visible is the manifestation, which is the material world, and that is why this our material world is attributed to the feminine energy. That's why the earth is called Asasiya, or Mother Earth, because it's the feminine energy, it's the yin energy, and then the yang energy, which is the what you call our Father who art in heaven. Then the two merges, and then procreation take place. So basically, this is what our entire physiology is formed on, and this is the first level of the church. Once you can harness this energy of your body, you are set. You may not even need a master. You may need a guide and a mentor to guide you on your journey, but everything will begin to unfold. Please, you put your questions there. I'll be breaking for the question session, and then maybe in our next session, I'll make a recap of this thing and go into the electrical field properly. Okay, then we can continue. But I think time is far advanced, so I need to end today's session so that I can make for the questions that which are available here, and most of the people were also, I wonder if we can have the questions. So basically, this is the structure of the physical body. Now when you go to the electrical field, what kind of food that you are supposed to eat that charges your electrical field? When you watch our video, we've done that video already, eating according to the colors. Okay, so the violet, the indigo, and the blue are the electrical field colors. So any food that have this attribute within them gives your body electrical current, electrical energy, and then which promotes your electrical field, which activates your pineal gland. And then when you eat the magnetic foods, and these foods are the food that have the red, the orange, and then the yellows. Okay, that food activates your magnetic field, which then activates your pituitary gland, and then gives you more energy within the magnetic field to cause manifestation. Without manifestation, without the energy field, you can never have this manifestation. So you tap into the energy from the electrical field, then it sends it to the pituitary gland, which controls your entire nervous system, which is your magnetic field, and then causes manifestation through your emotions and senses. This is how divinity expresses itself within the manifest way. And that is why it is necessary for you to prepare the physical body well and adequately, so as you will be able to relate with that non-physical aspect of your personality, which is the Christ essence, so that you can cause things into manifestation. This is the desire of all humans on earth. Now, in between it, we have the balance, which is the energy center at the heart level, which we call the key of David, which is the two stars, one pointing up, the two triangles, one pointing upwards and one pointing downwards. The med-2 triangle, or some people call the interlocking triangle, which has so much energy. Anyway, so the green foods like the spinach, the conglomerates, and all those things, the green foods balance the electrical field energy and then the masculine field energy to keep your body in the balance, so that you don't become too electrical and you don't become too magnetic. You have to keep yourself in a balance, so that there can be ascension and progression on all basic fields of your energy centers. Once you're able to get this thing and understand this structure of your body, the temple is prepared. When the Bible says that in the book of Romans chapter 12, that you should prepare your temple, making it acceptable unto the Lord, this is the whole preparation of the temple of God, which is the church, which is the body. So once you're able to understand this energy field and magnetic field, and we are going to read Romans chapter 12 again. Romans chapter 12 verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your body as a living sacrifice. As a living sacrifice because you have worked on the body. You didn't leave the body to operate at random. You have worked on the body. And once you have worked on the body becomes a living sacrifice. Holy, acceptable unto God. So once you can get this energy field and can get this magnetic field, that means your body has become holy unto the Lord and it has become acceptable. Then now you can begin your spiritual journey. This is the only way you can begin your spiritual journey. Please, this is the only way you can begin a very good spiritual journey, is to making your body holy and acceptable as a living sacrifice, waiting for the God inside you to utilize it and to express itself through this body. I just want to thank you. I want to see if there's any question. I'll pick the question and answer them. Most of the people are off. As I said, if you want the full version of the video, you can go to our social media handle, The Way Network, and then watch it there. They're going to full video on it. If we were unable to do the full video, then I'm going to repeat this episode again because it is very, very important episode. Very important. It is fundamental and foundational to your own spiritual development. From Mr. Freeman, it says that today's teaching is the definite road to consciousness and enlightenment. Bless you, Mr. Mensah. Mr. Freeman, thank you so much. I know you are requesting that you've not heard from me. You will hear from me very soon with regards to the personality development course. Yes, we're putting things together and see how best you are going to accommodate the people and then do the classes, whether it's going to be in person or online for the people in Ghana. So we are thinking about it. That's why we've not contacted anybody in Ghana yet for the class. So yes, we thank you so much. Madame Lodina says that thank you for the great work you and your team are doing. Very grateful. Yeah, so we are trying our best. Today, I really need to apologize. I wanted to give a recipe today, but I don't know, since most of the people are off, I don't know if I should give the recipe. Or I really need to, we need to take this whole thing all over again. So, okay, let me give the recipe. Once you are here, let me give the recipe. And the recipe has to do with how do you cleanse your body energy, okay, in preparation. Because I told you that we learned that from the evidences that we had. We learned that the outer court is a place where they do atonement, and they do cleansing in preparation to meet God. Okay, so in the outer court, when people get to the outer court, what they do? They do atonement and cleanse. So if there's any negative energy, negative vibration which are not good, in totality, the Bible calls it, if you have sinned. That is all that sin really, really means. The Bible says that if you have sinned, okay, sin means accumulation of negative vibration and negative energies within your energy field, your electromagnetic field. That makes the body unfit for divinity to express itself, for God to express itself, for you to have an encounter with God. So at the outer court, that's where the atonement and the cleansing is done to make it fit. So likewise, the same thing, we need to atone and cleanse our physical body to make us fit to be able to harness the divine energy of God, which is within our being. This is what the Bible is saying, that to present yourself as a living sacrifice unto God. When it says that, this is what the church has to teach the people. How do you present yourself as a living sacrifice unto God? Our lights are off. I don't know, today has been a great challenge for us. So how is our system going to be a living sacrifice for God? Do we have to carry on? Yes, we'll carry on. We would, I'm giving out this recipe. Then what happens is that we would then put it, I'll fast track the formation of the group, then we'll put the recipe on the group. Okay, now, to cleanse the body energy, look for traditional baking soda. Traditional baking soda. We all know, especially the women among us, when you go to the market and say you're looking for traditional baking soda, you can have it. Then you look for traditional salt. They are different adanchine and I say adango, or the rock salt, which are the traditional salt. Then look for basil, akokomisa, basil leaves, reasonable quantity, and look for cloves, pepper, pepper, cloves, that small thing the Muslims use for their drinks. They call it cloves. And then look for turmeric. All these things are items you get on the local market. That is why I have decided not to prepare it and sell it. You can get them on the local market. Maybe later on, our outfit can prepare these materials, and then those who want to buy that, they wouldn't have time, and those who are outside cannot get them, we can ship them to them. But for now, these are the materials you need. Now, when you get these materials, what to do is that you take 1.5 liters of water, and then you boil these materials. You put it in a pot, preferably use the earthenware pot, and then put it in it. But if you don't have the earthenware, you can use any cooking utensil. Put it in it, and then charge it by through boiling, using the fire element to charge it. Now, when it is boiled for some time and you realize that you've gotten your infusion, you take it down, let it to cool down. Now, when this infusion is cooled down, then you pour the water, the infusion, which the water you have gotten from the mixture, into a bottle, and then you throw the chaff away. Now, this water you have in the bottle, you keep it and you keep it down. Every day when you come from town, you do this bath in the evening to cleanse your energy. Every day when you come from town and after your hustles and bustles for the day, that you go to people, meet people, shake people, sit with people in church and all, mingle with people, you attract all sort of negative energy that kind of corrupt your own body energy. So you need to cleanse and attune that aspect of your body. So after you have taken your physical bath, like you use regular soap and everything, to take your physical bath, the physical bathing washes the physical dirt from your physical body. The soap you buy from the stores, they wash your physical body. They wash the physical body. But after you have washed your physical body, get the same bucket and fetch a small amount of clean water and pour 1 cup of the prepared energized solution that you have made. Pour 1 cup of it and add it to the, how do you call it, the small bucket of water. You get a bucket, just pour some small bucket, 3 or 4 cups of water in it, and then add 1 cup of the solution, energizing solution water you have prepared inside. Mix it and use it to rinse your body. You use it to rinse your body. When you finish rinsing your body, you don't have to clean yourself. Please, you leave it for it to dry in your body. Now, when you are rinsing your body, you have to create an intention, because don't forget that all these things are astrological elements within the manifest creation space. They contain energy, but it is your intention that activates the energy which is inside. That is why salt can be used for spiritual purposes. At the same time, salt can be used for food. Because at the time you take salt, if your intention is going to use it for food, then it's going to serve that purpose of food. But the same salt, when you take it with the intention that you are going to use for spiritual exercise, then it does the same purpose of your intention of carrying out that spiritual exercise that you conceived. But the same salt, it can be used for food and at the same time can be used for spiritual exercise. The same, let's say basil, it can be used, the same basil, when you take it with the intention that we are going to use it to do light soup, it only harnesses the aspect of its energy which is meant for consumption. So then it will serve that purpose based on your intention. And the same basil, if you take it and you take with the intention of attracting money or attracting any material wealth in terms of business, then your intention then issues instruction to the basil to activate that aspect of his fortune and his cleansing energy to serve that purpose, but this time around not for physical healing of the body, which is the antibiotic properties, but it activates the mystical aspect of the basil. So intentions is very paramount and key when it comes to this spiritual exercise. And the reason why most of us fail in our spiritual exercises and the rituals and directions we are given and the prayers we do, we don't have answers, is because we have not been trained on how to create intentions. And this is a subject we are going to treat. But this is, I've not started going into the ritual directions and meditative, but we have not started. Because before we start that, we're going to treat prayer, how to create visualization, how to create intentions and all those things. But this is just for you to start cleansing your energy before we get into that dimension. So this is what you do. When you've got your infusion prepared, you put it in a bottle. Maybe you can use it for 4 or 5 days before you prepare another one. When you have taken your physical bath, with your normal soap, which is washing the physical dirt from your body, you need to wash your etheric body energy, because the physical dirt is for this physical body. But there's the non-physical aspect of this body, which is the astral body, which is also and the etheric body, which is also within this one, still within the physical, but it is more finer than this dense energy. That energy to attract negative vibration, and that energy to has to be cleansed. That body has to be cleansed, and it is this concoction that cleanses that aspect of it. That's why when you do it, don't clean your body. Allow it to penetrate through your pores. So when you have done that, you create the intention that you are renewing energy, any negative energy that you have attracted, any evil energy that you have attracted, any destructive, dark, invasive cause energy that you have attracted over your day's activity and interaction with people. As you wash down with this concoction, you wash out all this energy. When you create the intention, as a man thinketh, so be his manifestation. So as you create that intention, you begin to wash down. You wash down head to toe, you wash down head to toe, you wash out all this. You will see that you'll be very refreshed. Probably the best time to do this thing is the last thing before you go to sleep. So you do whatever you need to do. You take your, then when you're about to sleep, you take your bath and you take this ritual directional bath. And when you're done with the directional bath, you go and do your prayer or meditation and you go to sleep. Then you come and give me your testimonies and your experiences later. Okay, so I just want to thank you very much. And first, I want to apologize for all these inconveniences that is happening. It's part of life, and sometimes it happens. You see, the light is coming and going off and on. So please, I want to apologize for all these inconveniences. If you have any support, you want to support us, maybe in the near future, you want to support us so that we can get an automatic genset. As when the power comes, then automatic changeover takes on. You can donate to support what you are doing. All that we are doing is money. We don't take money for whatever we're doing, so it is money. So if you want to assist us, you can send your any amount you want to support us with 0243 732861. Our Momo number is 0243 732861. Please, I will not ask anybody to call you for money, and I will not use any other number to request for a donation apart from this number, 0243 732861. And the number on it is my own name, Frederick Mensah. So if anybody should contact you in any way or form requesting that the Way Network is requesting for support, apart from this 0243 732861 with the name Frederick Mensah on it, know that it's not coming from me. It's a spam and the person is a liar. Thank you so much. The universe bless you and God bless you. And the energy within you bless you in all your undertaking. Till we meet next week, let your day be blessed and be fruitful. Stay blessed. Shalom.